What's going on, everybody? That was an interesting game. The Washington Wizards fall to the Minnesota Timberwolves, 131 to 109. Ray, I know you got a lot you want to. Is there a lot you want to say? I mean, several things we talked about in pregame, some of the things talked about in preview was, and we've seen this in the past here at times, no matter what iteration of this Wizards team we've seen, if for some reason, if something goes on with the other team, I don't know how they find it in themselves to kind of like look over someone regardless of their current situation. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but as you said, like literally 2 minutes in the game, you were just like, they don't look like they're really ready to play. So I mean, is there anything you can take from this?
Um, Everybody at the stadium gets free Chick-fil-A.
Okay,
That's a positive.
Okay.
But it was just a terrible performance. It seemed like they took everything we talked about in the pregame that they needed to do to win, and they did the exact opposite. I said if they could just take the positives from the first 4 games and mesh them together, they'd come out with a victory. They took the negatives from the first 4 games and put them together for 48 minutes. They didn't defend well. They didn't shoot well. Just lackluster defensive effort. They didn't rebound. Just it's really not much to say. They gave up 131 points.
Yeah.
To a team without their best player.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing that was even more concerning, we're gonna harp on this quite a bit. I feel like this season, until they get the defensive, they get right on the defensive end, is that's back-to-back games where you gave up 70 plus points, at least 70 points in a half of basketball. Minnesota scored 40 and 40 plus in the first quarter. And as we said at halftime, which again, technical difference, halftime, apologize for that. Coach is trying to find something where so they can generate the stop.
Yeah.
It happened at times, but whether you're playing man to man and you're switching, which communication needs to be super on point for switching, or even if you're in 2-3, 3-2, what have you, if you're not talking and everyone's not on the same page and there's not trust in each other on that end, and I think that's what's not there yet on that end of the floor is I get the communication part because you see people trying to communicate, but there's not the trust where I'm like, hey, Ray, you got that, I'm here. Where sometimes you'll slide over.
It's not second nature.
Right. And that's something where that has to get shored up. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we know you guys can score. But it's a little bit deflating and underwhelming in a game like this, as you said. Without Cat, 20 from Robert Covington. And this is not a knock on Robert Covington in the least bit, but that's not his role there, right? Gorgie Jang, not 18 and 8. Again, you don't have Cat. Andrew Wiggins, 21 points, but he set the tone early and was scoring 10 in the first quarter and did a really good job of playmaking progress. Just kind of opening the floor up. So, that kind of started that whole we're sharing the ball tonight.
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, what did you think about what he did coming out in that regard?
He came out, aggressive, and that really doesn't mean, shooting the ball every time, but he made his presence felt. He hit a couple shots early, spreading the ball around. Jeff T got involved. He almost had a double-double in the first half. Yeah, their guys showed up to play, and our guys didn't. We talked about missing Cat's production, but they made up for it. The guys chipped in and did what they had to do. For the Wizards, this game concerns me because for the first time this season, they look like the team people thought they were going to look like. Okay. Through the first 4 games, they were pretty competitive. They looked like a basketball team. This game was the complete opposite. I mean, of course, the Rockets game again, defense was terrible, but at least they showed some life on the other end. This game, it was just a complete wash. So I don't know what that's going to do to them mentally, but it could be like moving forward, like, well, maybe we really are that bad. They got a lot of young guys right now, so these type of games will kind of take you out your zone a little bit. So it's they got another one in 2 days, so they can't dwell on it too long. Hopefully they can get back in the gym tomorrow, work on some things, time to get their mind right, and they can have a better showing against Detroit on Monday.
Yeah, as you said earlier, you brought up the young guys, and this is something where, Scott's been through this to a degree where you got a young team and kind of take it. It's a little bit different because, you have, even though John's not there, you have a John, you have a Brad, did this the first go round. Okay, see, those vets weren't really there. I mean, you had Nick Collison, but, Nick Collison wasn't Brad or John at that time. And obviously, I know with the injuries, but I think the biggest thing for me is I know it's a young team. I think, I don't want to say it's a positive, but I feel like it's one of those things that, lets them know that what happened in the Rockets game, right? You got all the things you got away with poorly on the defensive end, right? But you still managed to score.
Right.
This is why you don't have room for error on that. You don't have room for error because if you're not hot, you can't go basket for basket, right? Which means you have to generate stops.
Exactly.
And this was again, you got away with it against Houston because you shot 67%. Everybody was hitting, right? And then, this is literally just sports. This is a perfect example of sports. Everything goes right. You come up short, cool, but that end of the floor, it's something they have to make a focus. And I think it'll get there, but I think it's going to take some time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think another thing that helped is, I'm not saying CJ Miles is going to plug every hole here, but get another vet where I think with Bonga at the 3, I know he's out there, but he's essentially a rookie too, right?
Yeah.
At least that's how I'm looking at him. Just a little bit, some more vets are going to help. Another vet will line up well, but I mean, they're going to have to find their way, especially defensively. Someone's going to have to want to. And I'm anxious to see how that works that way out, where guys that are willing to do that are probably going to start to find minutes a little bit more here and there. And the other thing is on the glass, right? We talk about who they got coming in on Monday. I believe it's the Pistons.
Yeah.
So tonight, you got out rebounded tonight, 47. I think it was by 10. Oh, not 10, but 47 to 39.
Mm-hmm.
You got a whole Andre Drummond coming in on that, who I believe he christened the season with the 30-20 game.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, he opened the season with the 30-20 game. And then from a defensive standpoint, you're gonna have to deal with the speed with Derrick Rose and everything like that. I think it's one of those things where you're either gonna take it the easy way, the hard way, where you learn a lesson. Our parents say it a lot. That's how I look at it this year with the defense, right?
Yeah.
It's like you can listen to them tell you, or you can experience it. And at some point, someone's got to give. And I think, unfortunately, this might be one of those experience things. I think it's going to take a while before it settles in. Someone's going to be like, "Look, I'm tired of this,"
Yeah.
and it has to become a team-minded thing. But I'm not ready to throw that out the window. I'm not talking about the season. For me, the overall look of the season is just for the youngsters to develop, right? And anything after that is a bonus.
Right.
But to kind of we see where they're trying to change this culture and everything else, these are those moments where, for the young guys, this is a great, it's right there for you.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have room for error to not scrap on defense. Not just play, but this team will have to scrap on defense for them to
take plays off.
Right, they literally can't afford it. So as gifted as some of them are offensively, they're not gifted enough from a standpoint where there's enough consistency and firepower where you can overcome those things.
Mm-hmm.
They're as good an offense team they're probably twice as good defensively at this point in time, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with saying it. So they're gonna have to get there defensively. Otherwise, these nights are gonna become frequent.
Yeah, they can pile up. And it's a couple positive things. Troy Brown came in, gave some energy.
Yeah.
I had a couple nice defensive plays, and Admiral Schofield, he was 5 for 5.
Yeah, he had a quick 15 points in 14 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people might be like, "Oh, it's my fault minutes," but when you're this young, those minutes matter.
You need the reps.
Yeah, Justin Robinson got some time as well, and while that's great, again, it just goes back to defensively. Again, tonight they shot 38% versus 67% the other night, right? Other night, everything was cool because everybody could hit. Just to keep saying that, and this is why it matters on the other end of the floor. And then they have to do a better job with. At times, they're too carefree with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is the thing for a team like this is currently constructed. With missing, someone like a Waller, etc. You can't, your room for error is just so small. You don't have it. unless you become a great defensive team, right? So with you working with, that margin of error is slim as is. You throw the youth into that equation. Again, the margin of error. So those little things, as we said in pregame, and you guys are going to probably hear some of these recurring themes many times this year, which is outlook. But any final thoughts before?
Just again, this game is cause for concern. It's the third game in a row where the defense was terrible, and like you said, in the Spurs game and the Houston game, they were able to stick around because everybody was hitting. This is what it looks like when you don't play defense and you can't generate offense. You get mopped up by damn near 30 at home. So, something's got to give at some point. Like they got to string together 48 minutes of consistent basketball. They can't pick and choose. It can't be one or the other, or in this case, neither. So, just hope they can turn this around at some point and at least get to a point where, they look like even a shell of themselves almost every night. You're gonna have games like this through the course of an 82 game season. But again, over the last 3 games, the defense has become a recurring theme. So hopefully they turn that around quickly. Because if not, they're gonna have issues. Because again, they're not gonna shoot 62% from the field every night.
Yeah, and I mean that's pretty much what that is. Is like I said, we're less than 10 games in. I'm not gonna keep beating a dead horse at times, but again, we know what type of year this is gonna be. The high end of this year is gonna be for a playoff spot, right? Just being honest, the high end of the year, the absolute ceiling for this year. All the kids develop, everybody gets meaningful minutes, everybody takes a step forward. So when some of your bigger guns get back next year, you can take another step forward. But even while they're developing, and I get that part, the effort part of this, that in my eyes, that's non-negotiable.
Absolutely.
And I know it's one game, but 70 plus points, and to give up at least 70 points in back-to-back games in the first half of back-to-back games, come on.
Yeah,
and they have size and athleticism on their team. They have to do better, and especially on the glass. But we'll see you guys on Monday. Again, some of these things will be recurring themes this year. So we're probably going to get tired of saying it. You guys will probably get tired of us saying it.
Hopefully we don't have to keep talking about this. But, if it happens, we're going to talk about it. So
that's what we're here to do. Thanks for checking out Wizards Outlook. Apologize again for the technical difficulties with the halftime portion of today. But we'll be back. We should be back on Monday for the Pistons game. We'll be back here on Wizards Outlook. And then Tuesday, always join us from 8 to 9 p.m. right here on the Focus TV. Thank you, guys.